The Los Angeles Lakers have a serious problem as they fall to the Brooklyn Nets in a game that saw the Lakers struggle in one particular area. They're dealing with a lot of injuries, but the Lakers have one problem that is absolutely crushing them. We're going to break that down, discuss what it means going forward. But before we get into it, a quick reminder, hit that subscribe button. If you're part of the percentage who aren't subscribed to the channel, this is the place to be for daily Lakers content. But Hunter, this was a rough game. Now, heading into the game, we know the Lakers are dealing with a bunch of injuries, whether that be LeBron James, randomly Dorian Finney-Smith, Jackson Hayes out again, and they were missing both Dorian Finney-Smith and Jackson Hayes. And we saw an Alex Len start, something that I was hoping we wouldn't see for the rest of the season. They come out, they lose the Nets. They should have won the game. We saw some missed free throws late. We saw a pretty bad game from Austin Reaves and not a great game from Luka Doncic either. Hunter, what did you see here tonight? The glaring hole, the glaring problem is at the center position right now, and also their depth a little bit. You can see Jordan Goodwin, fantastic game. Him and Gabe Vincent were absolutely special today. Even Dalton Knecht, the season high for him, 18 shots. But they're rebounding, particularly on, I guess, for the Lakers, the defensive glass, but for the offensive glass for the Brooklyn Nets, they need to figure this out, and they need to figure it out fast if Jackson Hayes is going to miss any period of time. And also, we need a center because Luka Doncic plays a lot better with a proper pick and roll partner.
Yeah, and you even see when Luka plays, he can't really play his full game, especially without Jackson Hayes out there, because he's looking for that lob pass a lot. And Alex Len does not, he can't jump over a phone booth, Nick. A phone book. Like, this dude has 0 hops. And then Trey Jemison, while I do love what he's brought for the Lakers as a two-way guy, he's 6'9" and he's not very athletic either. So they just do not have that threat that Jackson Hayes is, vertically speaking, and the way he vertically spaces the floor. And on top of that, too, I mean, the Lakers getting absolutely crushed, especially in the offensive side of the glass. 16 offensive rebounds for the Brooklyn Nets. I mean, not only do you not have Jackson Hayes, you don't have Dorian Finney-Smith, you don't have Rui Hachimura, and you don't have LeBron James. Those are your starting front court players, really outside of like Jared Vanderbilt, that the Los Angeles Lakers have, and they have none of them. It's really hard to win without those guys. This almost screams like a trap game. I thought the Lakers would mentally be there, which I think they were, but they needed Luka, Austin Reaves to play their games, as well as a few players to step up. The good thing is they did have those few players step up. Gabe Vincent had the best game of his entire season, and his entire career as a Laker. 23 points for him, or 24 points for him. Jordan Goodwin was fantastic. Dalton Knecht, I thought, gave him really good minutes. But Austin was really bad. The counting stats aren't horrible for Luka, but I didn't think this was a good game either. I'm looking at how many turnovers he had.
He had 5 turnovers.
5? Yeah, I felt like he had like 10. I mean, there were a lot of really bad passes too that just did not go his way. They kept blitzing him, and then as a result, since they're missing some guys, it just seemed like the Lakers were all out of sorts this game. The Brooklyn Nets, they gave him life really early on after blowing a 15-point lead in the first quarter. And as a result, Brooklyn showed out and they ended up winning this game. And maybe there's some players on the Brooklyn Nets team that would look nice in the purple and gold next year.
Yeah. Nick Claxton, we're talking about you. But again, I'm not too upset about the loss in itself. You mentioned it. Jordan Goodwin, fantastic game. Alex Len, absolutely disastrous game. Trey Jemison, he does what he does, but he's just not the type of player that fits well with Luka right now, at least when it comes to needing an offensive. He played 41 minutes with Doncic. That's still with his back injury and his knee contusion, all these different things. Austin Reaves continues to struggle a little bit. I'm not saying that he's going to be a problem going forward, but the big problem right now is at that center spot. And LeBron now is going to be out for at least a couple weeks. It could be longer than that. Obviously, Dorian Finney-Smith, hopefully he's going to be able to come back. But I think I'm pretty close to done with the Jared Vanderbilt experience at the 5. I haven't loved the way that looks. Now again, the Nets are a pretty good rebounding team. You mentioned it, 8 offensive rebounds for the Lakers, 16 for the Brooklyn Nets, whether that be Day'Ron Sharpe, whether that be Nick Claxton, a bunch of guys, Cam Johnson, Zaire Williams, literally everybody was out there getting rebounds for the Nets. So it's like, the problem is more so lies in the future. I don't think it's going to be a huge problem going forward because they have Jackson Hayes. But for the future, a little bit of games here. They're trying to hold on to that 2 spot, which is becoming a little bit scarier each day with each injury. But other than Luka Doncic, and I don't even think Luka had a good game today. I think he looked pretty bad given Luka Doncic's standards. Same with Austin Reaves. Everybody else stepped up pretty well. Gabe Vincent, best game as a Laker. Dalton Knecht, best game in a while as well. He's had a couple of decent games lately. But other than that, Jordan Goodwin, who deserves his own video at this point. I don't think anyone else played particularly well. Like, Vando played okay, but I don't think running the super small ball lineup with him at the 5 works against teams that have any sort of semi-athletic center. And we saw it there at the end of the game when they got confused on a switch. Gabe Vincent and Vando led to an and one dunk to really seal the game.
Yeah, and that was it too. I mean, the Lakers actually had a shot. They cut
Yeah.
the lead to 2 points, and you're like, all right, well, if they can just get a stop, and well, that was where the game was over because the Brooklyn Nets they hit D'Angelo Russell of all people. Of course, it's D'Angelo Russell that hits the dagger three. Cam Johnson also gets a jump shot in there as well, and then as a result, they kind of just run away with this one. And for the Lakers, look, they are down guys. This wasn't a fully healthy Lakers team that lost to the Nets. That's why I'm not overly concerned because I'm like, all right, this is not the Laker team we're gonna see. Hopefully, fingers crossed, everybody's healthy come the playoffs. So that's why I'm like, all right, they would have won this game if they had a full healthy roster. But at the same time, Nick, there's very little margin of error for the Lakers. If they're missing one or two guys, it does really throw off the team, especially if it's guys that play down low like LeBron, like Jackson Hayes. I mean, Dorian Finney-Smith, he'll get in there too. He has the size, so does Rui. And as a result, you see them lose to a lowly team like the Nets. And, this felt like a game the Lakers really beat themselves. A lot of turnovers that came at very costly times in the game as well. And, as a result, the Lakers, they got a really tough back-to-back coming up here. They got Jokic and Giannis. I mean, those are the two best players arguably in the NBA, and they're both at least 6'10" and taller. So, you have your hands full a little bit in that one, especially if they don't have LeBron or Jackson Hayes.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you have to quite literally pray that Jackson Hayes and Dorian Finney-Smith as well are going to be available because you look here, LeBron has been out 1 to 2 weeks, right? He's going to be out at least, we assume, like a week and a half. There's some sort of speculation that it would be later than that, depending on what you think. But as it pertains to, like you mentioned, that back-to-back is going to be brutal. And not only is it going to be brutal, if they don't have a center, if I were to watch Alex Len go up against
Oh
Nikola
man.
Jokic, which is a possibility here, even Giannis Antetokounmpo, like you have long defenders, maybe you put Vando on Antetokounmpo or Dorian Finney-Smith, he's healthy. But like the problem isn't going to go away anytime soon, simply because of, like you mentioned, the injuries to LeBron, the injury to hopefully, I mean, I hope everyone else becomes healthy again, but it's at the point of the year where, Hunter, do we now start to kiss the 2 seed goodbye again? This was the standings before the game. Do we start to not kiss it goodbye necessarily, but that is going to be tough if we're dealing with injuries. We know LeBron James is going to be out for the foreseeable future, so that's where the problem lies. If they don't have a center, or even if they do have a center, it's going to be tough nonetheless.
Yeah, well, I think the goal of the Lakers and JJ Redick kind of outlined it. He doesn't care what seed the Lakers are. They just want to be a top 6 seed. And because of this great win streak or great string of wins the Lakers had, winning 8 straight, winning 20 out of 24 games, they did buy themselves some room that they probably are going to avoid the play-in tournament, which they have not done since they last made the
Yep.
playoffs. Or back in 2020 when the playing tournament wasn't a thing. Ever since the playing tournament has been a thing, guys, aside the one season they did not make the playoffs, they have been in it every single year. So the Lakers have positioned themselves where even if they have some injuries, they won't probably completely slide out of it and they'll probably avoid it. And I'd rather see a healthy Lakers team as a 5 or a 6 seed, let's just say, throwing out a random number with a healthy LeBron, healthy Luka, ready to go for the playoffs, than if they really go all out. They're playing through injuries and they get a 2 seed and now they're banged up and they're playing like the Golden State Warriors in the first round and with a healthy Steph Curry and Jimmy on the other side of it. So for me, Lakers get healthy. Sucks is coming at this time of the season, but if they can get healthy, get right, they already have the chemistry going. They'll be all right.
Yeah, I think they're going to be fine, but they need to figure out we got to hope that they get healthy when it comes to their center position because I think Luka can handle it if you have a pick and roll player. That's been the biggest problem for them. But I'll wrap it up. Let's know down below. Are you concerned or do you think they're just going to, do you think they'll be good? I think we'll be good. But thank you guys for watching. See you later.